What if I told you literally anyone can make hundreds of thousands of dollars with freelance brand scale? This is Victor, a random subscriber and a member of the ERT that made $6,000 last month. But in this video, I'm going to give him every piece of knowledge he needs to know in order to get to the next level. That way he can make way more money. And you can get all of it for free.
This shit you can't fake. This shit you can't fake.
My niche is roofers. I mean, general contractors, but roofing is like the main thing. I started running like performance-based deals only. You were inspiration for that because the first guy where I saw that is from you. That's like, for me, best thing, because worst case scenario, I don't deliver. At least I know, like, I can put a hand on my heart and say, hey, if I didn't deliver, I didn't make any money.
So basically your whole offer right now is just like performance-based pay for these businesses.
Low setup. The reason why I did low setup, with low setup, nobody can scale. I just want to get as much people as possible in my agency just so I can put the reps in with the ads. And in the past month, I went through 22 ad accounts.
And like I've said in every other video on this channel, getting the reps in is the most important part. Whether it's a friend or family's business, some way to run ads, learn the skill, and then you'll actually be better when it comes to signing real in-life clients. So you currently are retaining about 20 clients, correct?
21, 22, some of that, yeah.
I guess you kind of answered the question of who you're marketing towards. Your kind of ICP, I guess you would say, is roofers, and that's all the leads that you're scraping are roofers. Is that the only clientele that you have?
Yeah, currently. Like, I had few here and there, a few pressure washers. Actually have one active pressure washer because that was my first niche.
And you'll notice Victor said his first niche ever was pressure washers. I see way too many people pick a niche, not get clients in it, and then stick with that niche. If he would have done that, he wouldn't have gotten the other 20 clients that he ended up signing in the roofing industry. So in the early days, don't be afraid to look for these adjacent niches. That way you can actually find more clients and sign them even easier. Everybody finds their own little success in their own little niche. So just be open to the possibilities and the opportunities elsewhere. But keep watching, because picking the wrong clients could be exactly the reason that Victor's agency crumbles. What is your current revenue? It's July 1st. What was your revenue last month?
It was around 6, I think, in total across everything. And
I would imagine a lot of those clients were newly signed clients. I feel like typically a client should be probably making you about 1K minimum. So I guess we'll dive a little more in depth on why they aren't in your case scenario, but I would imagine off the rip, a lot of them were performance-based pay, and it's still very early on in working with them to where it's hard to get them results that are worth that price point right off the rip.
I'll say it off the rip. My biggest bottleneck is service delivery. Getting people in, it's easy for me. It's simple, but it's not easy. But in my case, after a ton of repetitions, cold calls, everything, that's easy for me. Really delivering results, because if my service delivery was on point, my clients were 20xing their investment. I would literally live off referrals. If I continue down this current trajectory, it'll be like churn and burn, and that's what I don't want. For some clients, it's their issue they're not delivering. It's still on my end because I didn't address it at the beginning. I brought them in 60 leads, and they're like, hey, I didn't close any job. How fast were you calling out the leads? Oh, when I see the message.
Victor just brought up two really important things that I see most people struggle with. First, when you start an agency, you're going to be taking on pretty much any and every client that you can sign. When you're starting your agency, it might make sense to go ahead and do that just because you need to get that hands-on experience and you're just new to the game. You just want to get your feet wet, which isn't a bad thing. But as you grow and you start to take more clients on, which hopefully are more qualified clients, you shouldn't be keeping those ones that aren't making you much money. Second thing is, he said he can close a bunch of clients, but can't always manage to deliver because he's over signing too many clients. This is the number one thing that I see people commenting on my videos about. So this is going to be really important to address this by the end of the video, because like Victor agreed, this one pain point could take him from $6,000 a month to tens of thousands of dollars a month. Just those simple little tweaks we're going to go over. Your client base obviously is roofers. What does that churn rate look like?
They're getting leads, but they're not getting money in, appointments in. From 10 clients, if I continue down this current trajectory, I'll churn them within a month.
So I guess as far as going about getting clients, that's just majority just cold calling these roofing companies, just scraping leads.
Yeah, I had the dialing team. They were setters, literally they were calling up all the leads, scheduling them in. But then I talked to my sales coach and he said fire them all.
You're going about it all manually.
Yeah.
And you've seen more success with that?
I mean, he told me that last week. I even asked Mason too. He said that that's valid because his point is how can you, because to be honest, I have have 6,000 cold calls. I have good cold calling experience, but still his point, you need to be a killer. How will you know if they're not hitting KPIs? How to spot their bottlenecks and everything if you've never been through that?
100%.
I said, oh, I have over 6,000 cold calls. And his response was like, I have over 30,000 like cold calls. And still, like, when I was top closer in my company, I was still setting meetings because that's like, it sharpens your skills and everything.
I think that's a very important part, bro. Is like you have to become a master of the skills that then you're going to look to outsource in the future. How are you going to properly manage those employees if you can't do them yourself? So when it comes to service delivery, are you outsourcing anything there, or is that all manual?
Done myself. By the way, that was, for example, his approach. Do closing and setting, outsource service delivery to someone, find a media buyer. I have a buddy of mine who had like pretty big car detailing agency in USA, and he's service delivery. He's completely opposite of me. He was making literally a ton of money, but because his service delivery was cracked.
You know, that's mostly what drives an agency forward is the client acquisition side of things. But when it comes to a sense of retaining those clients, which is a huge part of, you know, agency as a whole, that comes down to service delivery, which I think the service delivery side of things is always going to be easier to outsource than the sales side of things, because it's easier to keep people incentivized when it comes to the service delivery and internal side of the business than it is like the external and the sales side. So it's very clear that all Victor needs to do is upgrade the service delivery and improve the way he's bringing in new clients. His agency will be something he can continue forever and actually create a consistent career out of it. With your current clientele, are they satisfied with their service?
40% of people, it's so early. Like I published the ads last week, so the rest is like meh or like dissatisfied.
And I mean, there's obviously the handful of clientele where you could do whatever for them. You could be on your hands and knees for them, and they literally like won't be happy with the service that you provide unless they're making tons of money within a week, and that's inevitable. Those clients aren't the ones that are worth signing. And what's also very clear is making sure you're signing clients who aren't gonna expect too much out of you. Not signing just some random company that's going to expect you to do way more than what you're supposed to be doing. And they end up leaving bad reviews, bad word of mouth. They just aren't always clients that are worth signing, especially when you ultimately did nothing wrong and they go out and say those bad things. That's just not a good look on you. So making sure to have these important conversations with leads prior to closing them and understanding what their expectation for you is and communicating what you can actually deliver is important. Communicate the exact process so that them or even you don't get the wrong idea. Your service delivery and clients being unsatisfied, what would you say is the most commonly seen error? Is it that cost per lead is too high? Is it that you're driving leads but those leads aren't closing, like lead quality is bad?
Clients getting like a lot of disconnected numbers where people who are literally live in an apartment and they submitted a form for roofing service.
Bad lead quality. So are you doing anything on the creative side of things for them, or are you just kind of basic consulting, telling them what to make as far as creatives and then just running those like cold audience?
No, I do everything. I create creatives.
I mean, with that being said, then that seems like a lot of internal work that you're doing all yourself for 20 to 22 clients at the same time as trying to go about client acquisition.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a problem there that you need to outsource service delivery because you have way too much workload on your plate. You know that you do, but it seems to me like you're scared to make that jump to outsource service delivery because you don't want it to eat into the money going into your pockets, but it's what needs to be done in order for you to be able to scale.
Even like my sales coach said, like outsource service delivery, like literally there are a lot of media buyers. But like I had a thought go through my mind. If I'm terrible at service delivery, how to really spot the talent for Facebook ads, how to know if that media buyer is doing great.
The biggest thing with outsourcing service delivery is about overall providing the right experience for the client, not always the results in itself. No matter what, if you're getting shitty results for a client, they're always going to look to blame you. But if in the end of the day, they know they have someone who can be quick to respond to them, to give them solutions to their problems, and overall just be there for them, they're going to be happier than they would if there's someone who's, you know, they're trying to get a hold of and he's busy cold calling, trying to sign more clients. Just solely being able to have team members who are there that your clients can rely on for at least a response and a solution to their problem is huge. So like in my agency, right, it's like we have account managers assigned to every single client. So it's like that client has someone that they can basically talk to 24/7. So if they're not happy with service delivery, they have someone they can instantly contact. And that's why so many of our clients are retaining, because even if they they aren't necessarily getting the exact result that they want, they have someone who can provide a solution for not having that exact result that they want. So like in your case, it's like they might be trying to get a hold of you, and be brutally honest with yourself here. How quick are they able to get a hold of you?
Very fast.
Very fast. So you're that quick to respond and that quick to provide a solution if they have a problem?
Yeah, but usually all the questions outside, like how the ads are doing, or I'm just giving them constant updates. Hey, we're doing this on your ad account, we improved this. So it's not like I sign them and that's it, I leave them until they want to churn.
Even on to the next thing here, how annoying does that get for you? And how much does that lower your frequencies on a day-to-day basis?
To be honest, it really doesn't take it's like 10 minutes a day for me.
Okay, fair. But if you didn't have to think about that at all, how much more energy and focus would you be able to put into something like cold calling, which is going to drive your business even more forward and just genuinely push the needle forward for your business?
If my service delivery was dialed in, like my clients were, 70% of my clients were booming, I would live off referrals. I could scale with referrals only. I would be just spamming my clients, hey, referrals. I could scale that way. But if it's like churn and burn, how to ask for a referral, and they're like, mofo, like, you didn't deliver for me, why do you want me to like give you our referrals? It's shit like that.
But now you're speaking out loud, proving to yourself how important service delivery is, and but you're not taking action steps in providing better service delivery. So let's backtrack here. Let's go back to the quality of clientele. What determining factors do you have in your sales process to be able to determine if a client is worth working with or not? Or are you just signing anyone and everyone?
To be honest, currently I'm just signing everyone. The main reason is I realized like volume is the way to do anything in life.
But what's the consequences with churning 20 clients? You have 20 people out there that will always forever speak bad about your business. You need to be very careful with how many clients you're signing, and especially your churn rate. And of course, what they're gonna say about you. And let's say in the early days, you have a client where things don't necessarily work out. Now, that's totally okay. That's most likely going to happen, but it needs to be clearly communicated of why that happened. Transparency and just overall, again and again, I'll say it, communication is everything. They're gonna always look to blame you as the marketing guy, but in the reality of things, it can be more so on them than it is you. And the last thing you wanna do is have people who will be out there forever saying bad things about your business because you didn't communicate why maybe things didn't work out. Let's say you sign 5 clients versus 20 shitty ones, right? You sign 5 solid ones. You have 5 solid clients that you can work with, that you can retain forever, because service delivery and getting results for them is easy. So what is stopping you from focusing on signing a better quality of clientele rather than more volume of clientele?
I mean, nothing. First of all, I wanted to go through that phase of, hey, I want to deal with whoever, because then after having 5-10 of those shitty clients, I can spot even on the sales call, and even like how is it working with them and what not to do. So right now, if I see guys pissed off on a sales call, I'm not even trying to objection handily reframe it
because I was in your exact same situation where sure, maybe I had like 20 clients, but a lot were churning, a lot were paying me that much. They were paying me, $500, $1,000 a month. It would have been way more beneficial for me to have 5 clients that I was, making each 3, 4, 5 grand a month from. So I can tell you right now from years of experience, it's much better to have less clients that are better quality and that'll make you more money than it is to have more clients who make you less money, because those ones are always the ones who are a pain in your fucking ass. At the end of the day, the people with a good business and a good product are ultimately the ones that are going to succeed and actually be easy to generate results for. Know how businesses work and know the amount of work that you're putting into a business. So naturally, when they either see results or don't see results, they're gonna be more understanding of the process and what exactly happened and what exactly led to that outcome. You could do one of 2 things. You could look to just hire out a couple media buyers, maybe even one at your point. 20 clients could be managed under one media buyer, as well as he could manage majority of communication. That's also going to look more professional to clients. And it may feel like, because I have this same common limiting belief that like, oh, how am I going to keep all this organized? How am I going to make sure everything is like fulfilled properly and on time and manage these employees? It's easier than you think it is. And I had that same exact limiting belief of like, and that fear of taking that leap into starting to outsource outsource some of that stuff. As soon as I did it, it made me realize it was much easier than I thought it was. The biggest skill to learn as an agency owner is how to delegate. Because although you think maybe you're the best at doing everything, if you can't manage to hire and outsource some of that smaller work and those smaller tasks to other people, there's just no way you're going to learn how to scale to the next level by yourself. The people who make the most money in any world of business are normal people that just learn how to outsource tasks to other people. For example, have you ever seen Jeff Bezos pack an Amazon order? You're early on enough in your business where you can build a valuable enough connection with a media buyer who will forever be loyal to you. So you hire him now. He does all the work for your clients. You properly manage him and pay him well enough throughout that journey and consider to keep him incentivized. He will always be by your side and be loyal to you in most case scenarios.
Where to find all these media buyers? I searched through Fiverr like 3-4 months ago. But like, I mean, is that the way to go, or just like this?
Bro, the ERT, every media buyer I've hired from the ERT has been great. Genuinely. Every single media buyer I have working for my agency is from the ERT. Every single account manager I have is from the ERT.
Coaching that I'm on with my sales guy, they're literally they're like doing a B2B consulting overall, and they'll be recruiting and when I'm at scale 50 G's a month, they'll be recruiting and training my entire appointment setting team and sales team. I have one guy, he's a friend of mine. I pay him like $700 a month, and with even a media buyer charging paying him $3,000, I'm okay not profiting.
When I heard Victor talking about his expenses, I realized that money was kind of what was holding him back. And he's more focused on making $6,000 right now than making hundreds of thousands of dollars in just the near future. But thankfully this happened.
That there's no issue there, but I don't want to like, I'm bitching, man. I'm bitching.
There you go. Hey, respect for being able to admit that though, because a lot of people can't. The crucial part is being able to realize where the problem is and how to solve it. And that's what you just did. Because we knew Victor's margins weren't healthy, we had to look through and break down his expenses. And although he was spending money on things like courses and softwares to generate his clients' results, he was still getting a negative ROI after these purchases. As Victor said, he was putting in way too much time for his clients for a little return. So the two ways to fix this is outsource internal service delivery systems, and then once that's done, add qualifications to the sales process to get more sophisticated and better quality clients. That way he's not hiring clients that aren't really going to be easy to get results for and ultimately aren't really going to make him money. You want to have clients where you aren't trading your time for money. How much are you charging as a setup fee to those current clients you're signing?
Around $1,000 currently. That's for now.
$1,000? Well, how do you have 22 clients?
All those clients before were signed on 250, 500. Some of them 800.
More of a setup fee, which I guess you've already done. You've bumped that to 1K, which I think is kind of solid sweet spot. Because if a business can't pay 1K up front, they're probably not a business that's worth signing. I'm sure maybe your sales coach tells you the same thing. Your service that you're trying to provide to these businesses is most likely a service that they don't think they need, but you have to convince them that they need it. So collecting that 1K retainer up front isn't going to be easy. You know, if you're confident in your ability to deliver service for these clients, which you should be able to come up with some sort of irresistible offer for them, whether that's, you know, refunded if X criteria isn't met.
Yeah, I literally had, for my previous offer, I had like 15 guaranteed replacement jobs, not closes, not appointments, closed jobs. I was betting literally on my clients to do that. I was offering full refund plus extra on top.
I think it really just comes down to that in your case. Whether that even means having to drop some of these. Maybe this step isn't necessary yet because the current clients you have aren't making you as much money as they should be. So maybe you drop some of those clients that aren't worth your time and focus on replacing them, clients that are actually going to make you money. But how do you actually find better quality clients? Well, you can scrape more leads using a platform like ListKit, which there's a link for that down in the description below this video. You're going to be able to find tons of potential clients, and then you can actually reach out to those clients, have conversations with them about their goals, their revenue, you know, the basic process of cold calling or cold emailing a business, whether this is an e-com brand or a service-based business. If they already have a lot of traffic coming into their business or clients or customers, they're probably an ideal fit for you to actually go ahead and work with. Again, there's no point in wasting your time with companies who don't really have any any sort of potential unless you're a beginner and just trying to, again, get your feet in the water. But again, those clients you have to be careful with, because if you don't make them the money that they expect, they're gonna look to blame you. You can get high quality clients with good rewards from there, and then it's literally just a matter of outsourcing and delegating to a team and continuously scaling, which might be scary, but it's gonna take a lot of pressure off of you, which will actually allow you to push your business forward to the next level. And if your business moves forward, you make more money, also have more time, and maybe you can even crash an event or lightning. That's a wrap on this video. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a like. If you want to join the ERT, link is in the description. I love y'all boys. Peace.